What is up, you amazing people? It's Nima here, and today I'm going to talk about a game that I can't pronounce. I swear I should have the proper spelling in the top of the video, but it's the Blushkudlers Dungeon Master, so I'm just going to call it Dungeon Master. But anyway, I had never heard of this game. In fact, Adam Miller from EliteInstitute.net, what feels like half a year ago, he contacted me and said, "Hey, after your holiday, you want to do a video for this game? Check it out, let me know what you think." Oh, what's funny is I think I played this game at a perfect time. I played this game amongst many of the same genre, that sort of resource management, sim style game, and I think the reason why it was so good to play it in that circumstance with other sim type games was because I realized how much better this game was than all the other ones. As I played the other ones, I keep wanting to go back and play Dungeon Master. Most notably is because this one actually had a really good storyline and it was written really well. You see, you take a hold of the character who is the steward of this dungeon. You are the dungeon master. Unfortunately, you're not the dungeon owner, though. No, in fact, that is your boss, who is quite the penny pincher and doesn't really want to deal with anything. In fact, when things get too complicated or he just doesn't want to deal with it, it's on you. He just leaves. Meanwhile, though, everything you do, he has to criticize. He always complains you're spending too much money, you care too much for the minions or the employees and trying to make everyone happy, and it's coming out of his bottom line. He's not happy. Now, in most games, that would be really annoying, but honestly, in this, it was kind of a fresh perspective. His sim-style games are often would consider kind of cozy, laid back. And not that this can't be, but with his presence, it does have this little bit of a driving force, a little bit of anxiety that you sort of need to just keep it going, keep it fresh, you know? And he's not the only one, you see, because you can sort of just ignore him after a while. It doesn't really bother you. But the association, they are a necessary evil. Much like a homeowners association, they badger you constantly about meeting their standards and taking an absorbent amount of fees for everything you can think of. So they are constantly harping on you about what you need to do to improve your dungeon, at the same time also taking money from you. But you need them. Now you need them because to be recognized by them will allow more heroes to try to explore your dungeon, which gives you the added foot traffic that you need for multiple reasons. For one, helps your minions get stronger, your guards, your security, and you're able to attract more elite group of minions and guards and security and whatnot. Not to mention, this will also increase your revenue. This foot traffic and the recognition will also help bring people in to check out your tavern. You see, that's the other side. Not only is this a dungeon with evil minions and chests, gold, a big boss at the end, your boss, it's also a place to make money. We have a tavern. We're on the side when there isn't heroes coming through trying to wreck up the place. We're also serving booze to the locals. Now, this is a fantastic revenue stream. In fact, our only revenue stream. As like I said, we serve alcohol and food to the locals. Now, the only downside of this is our minions. They need their own place to get food or be entertained, because if not, then they go in and they bother our customers, and that can cause a whole problem. But as you can guess, trying to run some sort of 5-star restaurant of sorts on one side and a literal death gauntlet on the other can cause some problems. There can be some friction there. And that's essentially our main goal, is to help these two things coincide, because they both rely on each other. We need money from the tavern, but we need prestige. We need recognition. We need to have the best dungeon, or we're going to get fired and kicked out of the association, and then we can't have our tavern open. So it's a whole thing. Now, ultimately, I have to say that I had a lot of fun playing this game. At least for me, sometimes the laid-backness of a Sims game can be too laid back, and without that direction, without that push, that outside influence, I usually get bored, especially if they don't have much of an RPG mechanic to them, like these more straightforward Sims. And at the same time, the dialogue and the writing is actually really good. Like, the game is legitimately funny. Also, for anyone concerned, the tutorial is very helpful, and the game really walks you through the mechanics, as some of these games can be overly complicated because there's just so much to do and so much in them, it can be overwhelming. But this game does a really good job of welcoming you into the game. I know I haven't said anything negative about it, but get ready. So there are some performance issues. When you have some heroes raiding your dungeon and you've got a lot of things going on screen, it can get kind of laggy, and that is definitely an issue. The other issue I have with the game is the price. It's $29.99, which for me I think is a bit high. I know that's subjective and maybe I'm just being cheap, but for me, I think a perfect price to be around that $20 range. I don't have to say that it won't go on sale or that you shouldn't have it on your wish list if you're interested, because I think you should. I think this is one of those games that when it does drop a little bit, or if you're even somewhat interested, you're probably really going to enjoy it. But just be aware of the fact that it does have some performance issues, and for me, I think it's a bit pricey. But I will say there is quite a bit of content to keep you busy, and there's a lot of expanding upon the dungeons. This is a game that you could be playing for quite a while, so as I said, the price can be subjective, but ultimately I would advise picking it up, especially if you like sim games, or if you're very close to liking sim games like myself, where I can spend hours playing Civilization. But then something like City Skylines is just a little too laid back for me, and I end up losing interest. But that's my thoughts on Dungeon Master. Let me know your thoughts. Is this a game you've heard of? I know it came out in late July, but let me know if you've played it or if you're interested in checking it out, anything and everything. Also, just a quick little note, apologize for the audio. Still getting over the COVID, which really kicked my butt in the last, few days, and completely lost my voice. So if I sound awful, I'm sorry. Anyway, I love each and every one of you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.